Hey friends, Wayne over here at the Ram Man. There's some helpful information. Probably save you some time, money, and some grief. I wanted to talk to you about replacement boosters for our old Mopars. And really I'm talking about the 62 and up Imperials and then the 65 C-bodies, and we can take it all the way through 1974. During that era, you know, Mopar and most of the other manufacturers, they had two kinds of boosters. They had a single diaphragm booster that was almost always used in a drum brake system. The reason being is they could get by most cars with a 1-inch bore on their drum brakes. Didn't need to push that much fluid. So you could get by with a single diaphragm. Of course, they're always looking at cost. But then when you step up to a typical disc brake master cylinder, which uses a lot more fluid, remember you've got to fill the space behind that great big caliper piston instead of a little bitty teeny wheel cylinder like this. It's probably the same bore, if not smaller, on your wheel cylinders. That's why your piston doesn't need to be that big, and that's why you don't have to have as much force and yada yada. So anyway, typically an 1 1/8-inch bore on a car is considered more than adequate. It really does perform. But in order to do that, to be comfortable, you really need essentially almost double the power. It works out mathematically about 35% or so. But here we have a tandem booster. Here's the one that I had redone. These came out in early 13, so about 12 years ago. And here is a normal, back in the day, tandem diaphragm Bendix booster. Used to be called bullet nose all the time. This came out in 1962 on the Imperial, the flagship model of the line, because it was designed, they were upgrading the brakes. That thing had gotten well over 6,000 pounds, and they were putting on an 1 1/8-inch bore drum brake master cylinder. Very, very large for its time. You saw that on the truck. So that's when they got together with Bendix and developed this booster, which was later used on just about the 60s disc brake cars. Of course, it was used on the Hemi cars with a different back. Spacing's a little bit different in the size. But anyway, I knew that that supply would be getting exhausted, and that's why I put a whole bunch of effort into, took all part of 11 and 12, and I remember the first one arrived Christmas Eve 2012. Yeah, Christmas Eve 2012. So typically, if you're running into a booster problem today, and here it is, July the 1st, 2025. Basically, second gen booster is the way to go. Of course, if it comes outfitted with the correct rod, whether it be an Imperial or a C-body like this one, or a B and C, of course, it's ready for your famous drum brake master cylinder configuration, or as factory came on the disc brake cars, so it bolts right up. And truly, this is the way to go. Yeah, we rebuilt boosters for 45 years, 47. And but today, this second gen is the way to go. It has a slightly bigger hub on it, about 1/8 of an inch. It flows a little bit more air, and it's got some European guts inside of it. And even though I don't like to admit it, it flows about 10% more, almost 10% more than an original booster. And we got this on some cars that are all the way down to 10 inches of mercury. That's a big cam. That's a big cam. And it doesn't work perfect, but it works. And the more you got, the better off you are. Anyway, second gen is the way to go. Give us a call. God bless you. God bless America. And happy Mopar.